So first we're going to take a look at the fourth party G1 figures that I picked up. As you can see, I was able to pick up the full assortment of Dinobots. And in the middle you see a Jetfire, although that is not how I purchased him. I'll try and find an image of the actual figure that I bought, but this is a complete repaint and temporary stickers. That's just red electrical tape that he's got on right now. But I'm still planning on purchasing from Destron Designs the full booster kit. So that will come in the future, and I'll give a full review of the figure then. But right now, that's just how I have my G1 Jetfire. And then in the back there is also a G1 Optimus Prime. I already have the Walmart reissue that came out a few years ago, although it was just the cab portion. It didn't have the trailer. So I picked this up just for the purpose of having the trailer. And this is the look at the G1 figures that I picked up.
The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
Now, as far as new figures go, released in the past year, these are, I picked up others, but these are, as far as my personal preference, some of my favorites from this year. So we have my customized Rise of the Beast mainline Optimus Prime. Great robot mode, great truck mode. It's the only drawback to this release was that it's a little small, even though it's supposed to be a Voyager. And then we have the Blitzwing, very close to the G1 Blitzwing. I actually like it better than the one that we got from Titan's Return. The Titan's Return was pretty good. It's a nice update, but it had that Headmaster gimmick, which Blitzwing never was one. So that's one of the drawbacks from that. But overall, it's a cool update. But this is pretty much the Blitzwing that most of us were hoping for. It's not perfect. It does have its, the plane mode could have been better executed. Tank mode is almost there, but the robot form, I think, pretty much nails the look of G1 Blitzwing. And then behind him we have Blaster, one of my favorite Transformers as a kid. I never owned the toy, but I always thought it was cool. And also, I always thought that it was cool that the Autobots had a foil for Soundwave. And then behind him we have Tarn, also a great release. I could have put what's his face, the one with the skull, but I never picked it up. I picked him up. I actually saw him, but I'm blanking his name. I'll flash his name on the screen, but I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, I saw him. I picked it up. I'll probably pick him up on discount if I ever see him again. And then in the middle we have the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. Now this figure is everything that this figure, the main line, is, as far as awesome robot mode, decent truck mode. The only thing that this one has over this one is that the truck mode is a lot more cleaner on this one. This one has a lot of kibble behind the cab, although there are upgrade kits and one that I just saw a couple days ago that I'm thinking of getting. That is pretty much the best of the upgrade kits that I've seen that cleans up all of that junk behind them. So I'll probably invest in that. But overall, um, great figure, very hard to find. I only found them at Target once, one day that I went, and they only had one on display. I asked one of the attendants there if they had more in the back. They searched their inventory. They had like five in total in stock. So that day I took three with me, two for myself to customize and one for a friend. And that's been the only day. That's been the only time that I've seen that figure on the shelves. So um, lucky me, I guess. And then next to him, we have the Metal Hawk. This guy is one of those characters that was in the Japanese G1 continuity. He was the leader of the what are they called? The pretenders. The ones that were like human but then transformed into robots and all of that. I forget the name of the show, but yeah, he was the leader at that time, just before Jinrai uh, took over as leadership. But yeah, he's one of those characters, taken from the what was taken from the I'm blanking out again. Cyclonus, the Cyclonus from the Kingdom release. So they reworked the Cyclonus and then made this figure, which in turn looks pretty accurate to the G1, the Japanese G1 cartoon. So yeah, probably gonna repaint this guy, all of that yellow gold plastic into repaint it into with a shinier gold. So that's a project for next year. And then behind him we have the MDLX Rodimus Prime. I think that's the last Transformer that I bought this year. I believe so. Um, Again, that's just the a non-transforming Transformer. Ooh, controversial. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, the figure, if you saw the review, the figure looks amazing, highly posable, great paint, and all of that. And it's just, if you're gonna have your figures displayed, and never gonna mess with it, then why do you want it to transform, right? So yeah, it's a great display piece as well. So pick it up. It's not that expensive. So I would say get it if you're into the character and if you just keep your Transformers in robot mode like most people do. And then yeah. Oh, I do have one more to show. So the last two figures I want to feature is the Studio Series 86 Snarl on the left, and um, a fourth party knockoff of the MPO8 Grimlock. So Grimlock, again, one of my favorite characters. I don't personally own, or I'm not that big of a masterpiece collector, you could say. However, this Grimlock is only what, like 8.5, 9 inches tall or something like that. He's not that too much. Yeah, about 9 inches, give or take. So he's not that out of scale, as you can see with the regular mainline leader class figures. So him being slightly taller than the other Dinobots, excuse me, is not that off scale. So he looks good with your mainline collection, right? So if you missed out on the Studio Series Grimlock, um, you can find this guy on, I think I got him from AliExpress for like 40 bucks or something like that. 40-50 bucks. Basically the same price of um, the Studio Series, even cheaper than that. Plus, you'll get the sword and better paint, die cast. So all in all, it's an upgrade from the Studio Series. Even though the figure is 10 plus years old, the design that is. But if you're needing a mainline Grimlock, the KO of the masterpiece is the way to go, in my opinion. So that wraps up our look at my favorite Transformers pickups from 2023.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
So now moving on to G.I. Joe Classified series. It was a slow year for me as far as picking up Classified series figures. There were a lot of figures that released, but not all of them were, not all of them were great. I know, for instance, I'm not putting up Shipwreck, even though I should mention him that I like. I guess I'm lying because can't speak. I guess I liked them so much that I picked them up twice without knowing. I bought them first in the summer, and then I bought them about uh, a month ago again, not knowing that I had already bought them. So I took them back. But yeah, some other figures that were released this year that didn't make the cut as far as my personal favorites for this year. Also, honorable mention to Helix and Firefly version 2. I would have liked to pick those figures up, but I haven't been able to find them in stores, so I'm probably gonna order those online in the coming days. But as you can see, so from this wild pack, this wild bunch, start up front, we've got one of the more recent releases, which is the General Hawk. So of course he is the original GI Joe, the original leader of GI Joe. Of course, many know Duke as the field leader, but Hawk is the true leader of GI Joe, the team, right? So he came out recently. Very nice figure, very cool upgrade to the original toy. One that I never had as a kid. Out of all of, I guess, even though I was a fan of GI Joe as a kid, I didn't collect them too much. I only had a handful here or there. But because I was more into Transformers and He-Man as far as action figures, I just liked bigger toys. So even though I was also into Star Wars, which were the same scale as GI Joe, but as far as like toys go, I was leaning more towards the bigger figures. But anyway, cool update to the original toy. Very close to what he looked like in the cartoon. And then next to him, we've got Scrap Iron. That's his. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's Scrap Iron. So Scrap Iron came as a deluxe figure with the drone here that fires this missiles and everything, fully opposable and all of that. Again, another cool figure, cool update. I mean, you're gonna hear me say that a lot about a lot of these figures. Um, yeah, he's just a cool, figure to have for your Cobra troops. And then behind Hawk, we have Grunt, which I have him with the helmet. That's how I prefer him. He looks like the way I described him, as a sci-fi soldier, basically. That in my head canon, that helmet gives him like special abilities for like sniping and all of that, with a heads-up display inside of the helmet and everything. So that's my head. But basically, Grunt is one of those army builder figures that you can pick up, and fill out your Joe ranks. And again, I believe he was one of the original Joes released in way back when. So yeah, cool update to the figure, right? And then in the middle we got Rock and Roll, very much so, living up to the name. He's got tattoos. He's got full sleeves on both arms. He's got that loud M60 or whatever that is. He's got the full beard and everything. Just a cool looking toy action figure in general, right? And then next to him we have the Crimson Guard. That is the retro carded version. I also have the regular release, but I chose the retro version just to display, because again, he's just a cool looking figure, right? Behind him, I forget if Gung Ho, that's the retro version also, but I forget if he released this year or last year, and I was just able to get him this year, so I'm including him in the list of 2023. But I'm pretty sure he released last year, but I didn't get him until this year. Again, cool looking figure. And then behind him, two figures that are nice and cool, but also disappointing: the Ripper and Buzzer. The thing that holding these figures back is those damn glasses. They made them out of some really gummy plastic, and they just don't stay on the figures so well. If you barely move them or you try to pose them, they're gonna fall off. So the solution is just glue them on and have them on permanently, which I haven't, but I'm really considering, as I was trying to pose the figure for the shot. Both of them, the glasses just kept falling, so you can see the glasses for Ripper are just not in the or yeah, the glasses for him are just not in positioned well. But yeah, anyway, it was a slow year as far as classified series go. Not out of lack of trying, though. There are still some figures that I hope to pick up that will likely make the list for 2024. So yeah, that's the look at my favorite Joes for 2023.
And the Masters of the Universe by the power of Grayskull.
And now moving on to Masters of the Universe. So again, almost a pretty slow year as far as pickups go. A lot of figures released, but I didn't get all of them, either because I couldn't find them, or I'm just holding off maybe for like some discounts, or or picking up some figures on clearance and whatnot. And also just some figures that I couldn't find that I wanted. So for my honorable mentions, I'm going to say the New Eternia Faker, the New Eternia Man-at-Arms, and the Many Faces. Those are three figures that I really want that released this year. The Faker released, the New Eternia Faker released around summer, I think, and just was never spotted. I never saw him. I never saw him available online, and he's selling for ridiculous prices in the secondary market. So I don't know what I'm gonna do to find them. Maybe I'll get lucky, like I did with and the one that I'm gonna mention. Two of their figures that I'm gonna mention: Zorak in the middle and Catra next to him, to his or to our right. I found those at Best Buy. These are figures that I believe released either late last year or early this year, and I just could never find them. At Target, at Walmart, and all of that. And then, a few months back, I went to Best Buy, found Zodak, and about a month after that, I found Catra. So then let's move on to here at the front. We've got the Sorceress from her look in the Revelation series. A very classic looking sorceress from the original cartoon, just updated. I do plan on customizing her. Just trim that skirt to make her look more like the original series, and maybe do something for the cape. Her feathered cape. But other than that, the figure is pretty solid, just the way she came. Very beautiful, nice paint job and everything. So very elegant. So yeah, a solid release. And then next to her, on our right, we've got the New Eternia Clawful. Very cool update to the figure. I've pretty much stripped down a lot of the extra armor that came with him just to keep him looking more traditional. And I believe that the pincers, I have them upside down, but I've always thought, it's been a while since I've seen, a lobster or, a crab. So I don't know if the smallest pincher goes on top and then the longer one goes at the bottom. But I always thought, I believe that's how it came. But I always thought that looked weird, so I reversed that and have the longer, bigger claw at the top and the smaller one at the bottom, almost like a jaw, right? Again, very cool figure. Doesn't need a lot of customizing. Just maybe adding some shading here and there to the skin tone and all of that. But other than that, the figure came out perfect. Over on the other side, on the left of the screen, we've got the New Eternia Ram Man. Again, a great update to the classic figure. This is the guy comes with three alternate, well, his basic head and then two alternate helmets or looks, and then he comes with that big harness. I keep blanking out on stuff. It's early. I'm recording early, guys, and so he comes with this cool chest harness and all of that. So you can remove that to have him look more traditional looking, but nice. It's a nice beefy mold, and much different than all of the other standard releases from the Origins line. I'm sorry, not the Masterverse line. So yeah, very cool update of that figure. And then up front we have the Thunder Punch He-Man from the Origins line, and Thunder Punch He-Man concludes my personal trilogy of classic He-Man figures that I had as a kid. So obviously the original He-Man, the Battle Armor He-Man, and Thunder Punch He-Man. Those were the three He-Man figures that I had as a kid. And I have all three versions for the Origins line. Now all that I'm missing is picking up the Filmation or whatever they're calling them, the Animation Classic or whatever that new Origin subline is called. Um, yeah, I'm gonna start picking up those now. And then in the back we've got two Evelyn figures. So on the left we've got the Sorceress Evelyn, the one that took over when they depowered the Grayskull Sorceress. So that's how she transformed the into her Dark Sorceress. I believe that figure was released last year, but I only managed to pick her up this year. Or it was released very early in 2023. I don't remember, but I am including her in this list just in case. I forget if she was released last year, but I just didn't find her until this year. And then in the back, all the way in the back, we have what people are calling the Darker Lyn, or He-Man powered Evelyn, or however you want to call her. But yeah, it's that was a Mattel Creations exclusive. A lot of people bought her, right off the bat when she came off. When the figure was released for pre-order. But out of curiosity, I just checked, a short while ago, and she's still available. So despite the figure, being in demand, a lot of people thought it might sell out, but actually she's still available. Same for the motherboard, that 12-inch figure. I'm also waiting to pick that up. So another honorable mention there, the motherboard. Hopefully, I can pick that up at some sort of discount from Mattel Creations. Hopefully they put it on discount, even if it's $10, $15, whatever. It's a $60 figure, I believe. It was a Comic-Con exclusive, or a Comic-Con, yeah, it was a Comic-Con exclusive, but released also on Mattel Creations, and it's still available. So hopefully I can get that on a discount down the line. But yeah, so that concludes our look at my Masters of the Universe haul for 2023. And this will segue into the next segment. But another honorable mention that I would like to include for this line as well, because that's how I'm displaying him, is this figure here. So this is the McFarlane Page Punchers Batman Caveman edition, basically. I forget what the storyline this is, but basically this is a prehistoric Batman. Once I saw him, I knew that he would fit in well with the Masters of the Universe, the Masterverse line, and yeah, he's got that look that makes him fit right in with this line. So I'm including him with my Masters of the Universe haul for 2023. And now we're coming in to the McFarlane section of my favorites for 2023. Easily the line that I collected most, or not line, but company that I collected the most this year, as far as all across whatever he had, mainly DC Multiverse and Super Powers, and some Spawn related things, but mostly we are going to talk about let's talk about DC first. let's start off here at the front with the superpowers. So on the left, we've got the Michael Keaton version of Batman with his all black suit. And then in the middle, we've got Wonder Woman. And then on the right, we have the most classic version of Batman in the blue and gray with the yellow oval, um, which is like the original Superpowers release. Um, the Batman, the one in the blue and gray, is the Superpowers figure that I wanted the most as a kid, but I never had him. It's the one that I always wanted. That when I went to stores, I always wanted, but I could never find them. Um, so that's the one that always got away, and I've been searching for him whenever I would go to toy shops and conventions and all of that, searching and seeing for a one that was in a decent price or hunting on eBay. But the price was just never right for me. So I'm thankful that McFarlane was able to produce this figure now in 2023, and I was able to get them right. So now finally have him in my possession. I actually have two. One that I plan on. I'm planning on customizing both. Great figure, very much close to about as close to the classic figure that we've gotten so far. The Wonder Woman again is just a representation of that original superpowers. You notice she has blue bracers instead of chrome. That's how she was when she was released in that color scheme. And then the all black Batman, that's just an homage to the Kenner line for that released for the '89 and the '92 movies, right? And speaking of updates of these figures, and then we can move back into the middle, and we have the Wonder Woman, the Gal Gadot version. That is from the Shazam 2 wave. So this figure is pretty much the an updated version of the original '84 Wonder Woman that released when McFarlane first released the Multiverse line. Um, this one has a new head sculpt, new legs, and also her tiara was an accessory. And on this release, in that you could use it as a weapon, because that's how she used it in Wonder Woman '84. I haven't seen Shazam 2, so I don't know how she used it in that movie. But I decided to clip off the ends and glued it onto her forehead for the traditional look. Great figure. I own well. I don't own the original McFarlane release. I bought it, but I gave it to my sister as a Christmas gift when it first released. But I've done the comparison, and I believe this is the better figure. And then to the right, we have the Nightfall Catwoman. And on the right, we have the 30th anniversary Comic Con exclusive Nightfall Batman. So obviously, I also have the standard release, but I'm using the Comic Con exclusive just because I think it's the much better version. Although I customized the general release version already. But yeah, both incredible figures. The Catwoman is probably one of the better female figures that McFarlane has released. And then behind and of course can't say much that hasn't already been said about the Nightfall Batman. For many, he is like the definitive, Silver Age, Modern Age, blue and gray, yellow oval Batman, myself included. Although I'm gonna show something in the shortly after this that may sway my mind. Um, And then we have the Hush Superman behind or in between Wonder Woman and Catwoman. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Superman. I mean, of course, legendary character and all that. Um, obviously, I used to buy the comics, mainly during the Death of Superman storyline. But as a whole, the character, has just never, grabbed me. Um, but again, it's Superman, and it's Hush, and it's based off of the Jim Lee artwork, so I had to get him, just to have a Superman in my collection, right? Um, Again, the figure was not perfect; it needed some modifications to make him look, its best. I already There's a video of how I, gave him length, and I also recolored and touched up his skin tone so he didn't look so pale. And that made the figure just that much better. So, the figure has potential for greatness. It's just it wasn't executed to its best. So, if you're handy with a paintbrush and not afraid to take apart your figures, again, check out that video that I posted, and you can see how you can, improve the Superman Hush release. And then in the back, we've got two Batman figures. So the one in the back of the Batman in the back is from the Flash movie. So that's the updated new Keaton bat suit for that movie. Great posing figure. As you can see, I already modified. That's the modded version that I gave him a cloth cape. Slightly pointier ears, although not as sharp as I want, but I can fix that. I gave him a matte finish, and the figure looks, 1,000 times better. And then finally, we've got the '89 Keaton Batman. So I want to shout out Mezco and their '89 Batman. I want to shout it out as the MVP for 2023, because of that figure, I was able to modify the two '89 Keatons, the '89 Batmans from McFarlane, by giving them the head sculpts from the Mezco figure, to perfect the McFarlane figures. So thank you, Mezco. You are the MVP for 2023. But yeah, what can you say about this, the Keaton McFarlane release? Of course, I have the version that was released in the six-pack, the Ultimate Movie six-pack, and also shout out to that six-pack, the MVPs of that pack. Definitely the Kilmer and the Clooney Batman figures. Those were the probably the best of the bunch. Next to the Keaton, although if the Keaton version, the standard original release, came with a head sculpt similar to this would have been the greatest figure of that set, right? And probably the best figure of 2023 for McFarlane, as I'm concerned. But the figure, despite having not the best of a head sculpts, many people turned to the Mezco figure like I did, and did the customization and added the Mezco head to the McFarlane figure, and it gave us basically the ultimate '89 Batman figure that we wanted since we were kids. So yeah, it's definitely my favorite figure overall. After the customization, I would say prior to customization, my favorite figure for 2023 was the Nightfall Batman, hands down. Although I do have to give an honorable mention to some of the Hush related, the Hush adjacent releases, and we're gonna look at something right now. Okay, so These figures, I just wanted to bring out because they are in the middle of being customized, but also were 2023 releases. On the left is the Batman released with the Spawn Batman 2-pack, and I just want to bring out his counterpart to that release. So this is the Spawn from that 2-pack, right? Awesome figure in its own right. These guys don't want to stand. Okay, so the Spawn, great figure in its own right. So it was the same figure previously released as the Throne Spawn. However, this one was included in 2-pack. He was given a new cape. And as you can see, I already customized this one and gave him actual metal chains. And to complete the look, I'm probably gonna repaint him and give him a more traditional Spawn color scheme with the red on the suit. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this figure out as well because this is another great McFarlane release. If you don't have a Spawn in your collection and you can find the 2-pack for cheap, I would say do it if you do find it. But anyway, back to these guys in the back. So the Batman on the left, again from the 2-pack. I really love what they're doing with this. Like I said, when I showed him when I was first customizing this guy, he is based loosely on the version of Batman that was in the Troika storyline. So this is issue 515 of Batman, released in what, 93, 94 or something like that. So this is the version of the suit that they were going for. So this is what I'm customizing my figure to look like. I just need the lower legs that are smooth, one piece without the boots, and to add the little fins on him, and then repaint the cowl and find the correct colored cloth for his cape. Right, but that figure is almost complete. And then on the right we have a modded version of the Batman Hush. So this is the figure that came packed with the Bat Raptor. The Bat Raptor, I have him with my superpowers, the all black superpowers Batman that I just featured earlier. So I have that figure riding the Bat Raptor. I just felt like it was better scaled vehicle for the superpowers line. So that's what I got him riding. But anyway, this figure, what I did to modify, basically I only repainted the gray, but I did have to switch out the upper chest. So the upper chest belongs to the Three Jokers Batman. So this is the original chest that comes with the figure that is packed with the Bat Raptor, right? With this blue and gray. But as you can see, and you can tell, the grays are different. So I just repainted the entire gray parts of the suit, and using the Three Jokers upper chest with the yellow oval. So now I have, you can say, a modern version of the 70s, 80s, 90s blue and gray with the yellow oval Batman to go along with the the Nightfall Batman. Right, so this guy is more or less like this guy is more or less the updated version of this guy. right? In just a Jim Lee style. Obviously, I still don't know if I'm gonna give him like a capsule belt or leave that belt with the pouches. I'm still trying to figure that out, but for right now, that's how I'm keeping the figure. I also picked up the Hush black and gray variant, the blue and gray variants also, and that wraps up my look at McFarlane figures for 2023. And rounding out 2023 pickups is my Marvel Legends pickups. So Marvel Legends isn't a line I collect, like say Masterverse or Classified Series or the DC Multiverse. Uh, it's a line that I pick up every now and then if I see something that I like. Um, but um, but I'm gonna start collecting more Marvel Legends now that they're releasing the X-Men '97 line. So I'm a fan of the X-Men. I'm a fan of the '90s X-Men, particularly the Jim Lee era X-Men. So that's basically the era that they are covering with X-Men '97, which is based off the original '92 cartoon, right? That aired on Fox. And so they've already announced the second wave of releases, so that looks cool. I'm only missing Storm and Bishop from this line. I'm just waiting for them to go on discount. But yeah, other than that, as you can see, I've got the Wolverine up front. I've got the Gambit in the back, and then a Magneto in the middle, all the way in the back, and Rogue next to him. All great figures in their own. I mean, they're Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends have their own, um, devoted fans. I mean, particularly me. I mean, I'm more fond of what McFarlane is doing with with the DC Multiverse, or what Mattel is doing with the Masterverse lines, right? But I just don't think that the value is there for Marvel Legend figures. But if I want to start collecting X-Men figures, I just have to bite the bullet, right? I can't risk waiting for these figures to go on discount because they're not going to be made available, as evidence as this line, this wave of X-Men '97 figures. The only figures that I keep seeing as of late is Storm and Bishop. They're the peg warmers. Every so often I see a Magneto, but I don't see a Gambit, I don't see a Rogue, and I definitely don't see a Wolverine. So sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, and it's either that and hope and pray that one of these figures goes on discount, despite availability and all of that. But that's neither here or there. Then I also included the this KO of the old Toy Biz McFarlane style Batman, Spider-Man. Um, Earlier this year, I posted a video of a custom. Also, I included in this video the Renew Your Vows pack. So in the middle, we've got the Spider-Man, and up front to the left, we've got the Spinneret, although she's been customized a little bit. I gave her the extra head from the Black Widow, which is behind her, and we'll get to that in just a second. But again, I mostly got this pack for the Spider-Man because I am a huge Spider-Man fan. He's my second favorite character behind comic book character behind Batman. So whenever I can get a cool Spider-Man figure, I'm down for it. And then, so I got this at Comic-Con this year, although the figure was released last year. So again, that's why I'm including him in this video for 2023. And then also I picked up the Spider-Woman, which came in the 2-pack with the Super Scroll. Again, I've always been fond of this character. As a kid, as a very young kid, I still vividly remember walking the street, the sidewalk with my mom, and going past a newsstand, and they had a spinner rack. I keep bumping the camera, and a spinner rack with comics. And for some reason or another, the Spider Woman cover just grabbed my attention, and I asked her to get it for me, and she did. And Spider Woman became one of my favorite characters, Marvel characters. The Super Scroll, I am including him with my Masterverse line. He kind of goes with that, sort of. He's kind of like he's almost like a another what do you call it? Another faction. So you got the Horde, you got Skeletor's crew, you've got the Snake Men, and then you could probably include that Super Scroll into some sort of other group of characters, right? But anyway, um, it's cool to have a version of that character in my collection, Spider Woman. And then on the right, we've got the Ultimate Captain America. Much like Superman, I was never the biggest Captain America fan, right? Obviously, I'm a fan of the version that was in the movies, in the MCU. But that version of Captain America is based off of my favorite version of Captain America, which is the Ultimate Universe Captain America. That Captain America is a badass. So when they announced that they were releasing the Ultimate Captain America, I knew I gotta have him. I knew I gotta get him, so I had to get him. So I got him. Very cool figure. The only downside to this figure is the clip on the shield for when he clips on his wrist. That clip, that plastic is a little too hard, so when you clip it on, you can see stress marks on it. So you either, if you're gonna put the shield on the Captain America, it's either you leave it on forever and don't take it off, or don't play with it too much, off and on, off and on, off and on, because you're gonna stress the clip to the point where it's gonna break sooner or later. So when I saw that, the first time I tried clipping on the shield to his wrist, I saw the stress mark. I removed the shield, hit it with a hair dryer, so that the heat could cool and remold, so to speak, and save the plastic to cure it, so to speak. And the stress mark went away. So, and then I decided, he's just gonna keep on the shield to his back, like I have him here displayed. And then finally, we have the Black Widow here on the left, what many consider to be one of the top two figures of the top two Marvel Legend releases of 2023, along with the Spiral, which I agree, the Spiral is a very cool figure. I don't own it. She doesn't fit with my collection at this moment. Maybe down the line if they release it for the X-Men 97 line. But yeah, this Black Widow figure uses the new female buck, which is highly posable, much better plastic, much sturdier plastic, and overall the face sculpt that you can see, two of the three head sculpts are in use. So obviously you got the standard head sculpt with the figure, with the Black Widow figure, and then I gave her the one of her alternate head sculpts, to the spinneret, because I plan on using the spinneret face, the Mary Jane face, for something else. And then the one with the poofy 60s, 70s hair, that's still in the box. I don't know what I'm going to use that for. But yeah, overall, that Black Widow figure is probably one of the best figures released by Marvel this year. Or I'm sorry, from Hasbro, as far as the Marvel Legends figures go. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the look for Marvel Legends 20. I guess an honorable mention should go to the Marvels, Captain Marvel. I did pick that one up. It's currently disassembled because I'm going to customize her. The figure wasn't that great. The joints, the double joints they used for her look ugly. Her her body shape just doesn't look. I picked it up because I thought I would. It looked cool in the box, but once you had it in hand, she's got no shape to her body, so it was a disappointment. But I just thought I should mention that I did pick that one up. Anyway, that wraps up our look for Marvel Legends in 2023. And we're gonna close out my look of favorite figures for 2023 with the miscellaneous pickups from 2023. But I'm only gonna show this figure to close out the video. So this is the Black Series Luke Skywalker from the Mandalorian Season 2 season finale episode. The Rescue, I believe it's called. So of course this is the cloaked Jedi Luke Skywalker that came in and saved their asses from the Dark Troopers and all of that. This is the first Black Series figure that I own. I am a Star Wars fan. I don't have plenty of Star Wars figures. I'm only collecting Luke Skywalkers right now. I also picked up the vintage collection Luke Skywalker from the Book of Boba Fett, the one with what is it called, Jedi Academy Luke. I also picked that one up. I also picked up the retro carded Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, so I have that. And also picked up the vintage collection version of the Luke Skywalker from the Mandalorian Season 2. But yeah, I'm just gonna close out 2023 the video with this figure. I also want to mention the Silverhawks figures that I picked up that I recently featured. The Quicksilver, the Steelheart, and the Monstar. Cool, great figures that I picked up on heavy discount on Black Friday. I thought I'd just like to mention a few of the other honorable mention figures that I picked up. There's also the DC Direct from the Batman the Animated Series line. I picked up the 4-pack that I featured in a video review during the summer, I believe. I also picked up the Catwoman separately. And there are some other figures that I'm trying to look at to see if I can shout out, but I believe that's pretty much the ones that need a quick mention. 2023 was a pretty, I would say, slow year compared to 2022. 2022, I think I picked up way more figures than I did this year. not because of lack of trying, that's for sure. Like I said, a lot of figures that I wanted, I just couldn't find. So hopefully I can get lucky and find these figures in 2024. So that's it. That's gonna wrap up our look at favorite figures for 2023. Hope everyone has a safe new year, and I'll check you all out in 2024.